expand.
We're answering questions that weren't even asked.
Yeah, I just want to answer one more question to the question.
Just like Mark Valentin, don't ask him to dance a jig. No rhythm. Zero rhythm. Zero rhythm. Very, not flexible at all.
But I can do the polka.
The polka. The real question, again, is, what you said earlier. What makes someone an expert? Like, if you knew 2 Spanish words and I know 0, you're an expert if you and I are the only ones in the room.
Until you know those 2 words, I am your expert. Yeah.
Exactly. So what happens is, if he doesn't know I don't know anything, he's thinking, well, I don't know. I'm not your guy. But he knows 2 words more than I do that could potentially help me grow my language or whatever I'm trying to achieve. So the key is don't, you're creating an internal conversation with yourself that you have to extract, because if you're asking that question out loud, you're thinking that when you're talking to buyers, sellers, and investors.
Right.
Because people all the time are like, what if they ask me how many deals I've done? They'll never ask you if you market properly.
Yeah.
Ever.
You know what's so funny? That's so funny. It's funny. Honestly, can I share a story?
Yeah, for sure.
When I used to work I worked 7 years managing as a director level for a huge for-profit education company, and we used to always, we used to train teachers. Okay. And I used to train teachers. I won a Trainer of the Year award. I'm proud of it. Trained hundreds of teachers. Had the best rated instructors in our entire tri-state region and all that other good stuff. And I used to always have new instructors. They would always say, what if they ask me, are you a brand new teacher? And I'd be like, how would you feel if you walked into a class and they were like, are you a brand new teacher? And you're like, I'm so excited. This is my first day. You'd be like, oh my goodness, run out of the room.
Yeah.
So they would always say, so how do you answer? Then of course I'm not going to tell them to lie, because you shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie in business. You shouldn't lie in life. Never. There's a family-friendly show. We support family values.
That's correct.
And so I would always tell them, if somebody asked me that question, I would say, wow, that's a great question. I took the SATs back in high school. I did really, really well on them. And then years later I said, you know what? I would love to change lives, because I knew how hard it was to take the SATs. And I know that if I could sit down, I know that we can change lives through this program. And that's what it's about, and that's what I want to do for you. And I've been doing it ever since. Because when somebody asks that question, they're not really asking. They don't care about your stupid biography or how long you've been doing things. They're really asking, can I trust you?
That's exactly.
And what that question comes down to confidence. You have to show the confidence of who you are and what you believe in. So we have a question coming in. What is the best investment route for a team of investors who want to get off to a quick start cash flow wise? It's a good question. Well, I like the question.
I always have questions on top of questions. I'm not trying to avoid it. I want to answer the question right.
Sure.
The first question is, how much, first, if there's multiple people in it, what are you guys experts at? Like, what are you good at? Like, what do you want to do? Second question is, how do you see your lifestyle with what you want to present? I mean, do you want to create a glorified job? Can I jump in?
Yeah. I'm going to let you answer this question
Absolutely.
in a second. But something I want to drive home was so important. I forgot if it was. We might have actually spoken about this on a show once. Somebody was asking about probate properties, and they were like, "I heard there's a lot of money in probate properties." And you know what? There's a lot of money in a lot of different aspects of real estate. But it's just like my high school friend Peter, who was like, 15 years old, and he said, "You know what? I want to." My friend Peter was like, I'm going to be a funeral director. And I was like, why would you want to do that? And he's like, I just do. And I was like, to me, that was the most horrible job I could imagine, but so necessary, so important. And he loved it, and it was a perfect fit for him. I would have been utterly depressed and never want to do it. And it's the same reason I would never want to do probate properties. I'm not good at dealing with those situations. So with the real question you need to ask yourself, Rod Hammer, the real question you need to ask yourself about your team is, when you look at your team, look at your core strengths, what can you honestly say that you guys can do better than anybody else? Maybe you guys understand the renter mentality, and you really understand how to have renters get out from that burden of bad credit and being a renter and turn them into homeowners. Maybe you really understand how to deal with distressed homeowners. Maybe you really understand how to deal with divorced families that have a property that's stuck in limbo and how to liquidate it for it. There's so many different things. But are we okay?
Yeah, we're still here, but that's why they can't hear Lou and them.
Oh.
Plug it in there.
How do you get it plugged?
Plug it into the microphone.
I don't know. Maybe when we swivel the chair, we had to unplug it,
works.
but we're still here.
Hello.
Hey, Kaz, can you say hello, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Why is it always up? Why is it always up?
Say it again, Kaz.
Here.
What's that?
Good. Well, anyways, my dad always wanted to learn sign language, and at the age of like 55, just started learning sign language. He started taking no reason, nobody deaf in our family. He just always wanted to learn it, and he started doing sign language. He's learned he can almost do conversational sign language, and then just last week, he always wanted to do glass blowing, and he went away to the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina, where I'm taking a trip in a couple weeks, and he took a glass blowing course.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which I just love that. I
think it's always great to always be growing and learning new things, right?
Proud of you, Dad. But we were answering a question. Oh, shout out to a sign out. Actually, all I know in sign language is this. Lou, do you know what this means in sign language? Can you see this? Wait, it's this. My dad taught me how to say Jesus in sign language. That's the only thing I know.
That's good, dude.
But so I can't give you a shout out, Chris Jameson, in non-sign language, but you the man, Chris. Shout out, buddy. So we had a question that I was answering at one point.
You're talking about...
Oh, a team.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Find out what you could say you and your team do best, and that's what you need to do, because we could sit here and we could say what's the best opportunity in real estate, but maybe it's a horrible fit for you. Maybe because you don't know how to speak the language of bankers. Maybe because you have zero access to cash flow or horrible credit. So your best strategy is going to depend upon your core strengths as well as your core weaknesses. So you need to look at your team and you need to say, what can we do best? That's my answer. I'm giving it over to you because I'm thirsty.
No, I think the biggest thing is find out, look if it matches up with your lifestyle. I see a lot of people just get into this business, just try to make money. I tell you
like
right now.
Like rehabbing, dude.
Like rehabbing. Listen, that's why I don't have that much hair left. Rehabbing is a tough biz. We do a lot of rehabs now, but we got project managers to help us with all the stuff that I don't want to deal with. And it's not even fun. It doesn't even sound fun anymore. However, it is a profitable side of the business that I'm in. But at the same time, you got to look. It does not fit my lifestyle if I have to drive an hour each way to go look at properties. That's not fun at all. Absolutely. So if, if you have the proper team set up in place and you have enough people to help you get that in motion, I think it's a great way. And if you're dealing with millions, I would tell you a different way. If you're dealing with $100,000, I would probably tell you another different way. Right. So again, I think it depends on how much money you have to work with. And the best answer is this. Is no matter where you're starting or how much you have or how much you don't have, is you have to start building relationships with potential people that can afford to purchase your properties, because you cannot hang on to everything you buy.
Right.
You always have to create a balanced business model from cash and cash flow, and sometimes they'll outweigh each other. This is what we call property rich, cash poor.
Right. You
start getting heavy on assets, but your equity, you're worth $10 million on paper,
but you can't hit your next mortgage payment.
It doesn't taste too good. So again, look at the full picture. Create a game plan. Find some people that can help you put this together. Go to one place if possible, where all these people are hanging out that have been extracted out of the marketplace through perseverance, through education. And you cut your timeline, you collapse your time frames, and expedite your success by multiplying other people's efforts.
Right.
I don't know if I could say that again in my life, but it sounded good.
It did. I believe you.